Okay, now let's get this black Brant and the streamer ready for launch. I'm going to assume there's some wadding already inside the rocket, and what we want to do is pack the recovery system. And the first thing we have to do is wind up this very, very large Kevlar cord. To take it and just bunch it up and stuff it in, I can guarantee you're just going to blow it out into a bunch of knots, and that's not going to help. Sometimes the knots are going to make this so short that it's just going to tear the streamer apart. So again, we want to take advantage of this large length. We have to make sure that it unrolls without tangling. Many times what people do incorrectly, they'll just take it and wind it up like this. All you're doing is putting a bunch of twists in it, and then when this untwists, it's going to put those twists back into the cord, and again, you're back to tangling again. But I'm going to show you a technique where you can wind this cord. I showed it in an introductory video, but now that we're getting this ready for flight, I'm going to show you the details on this again. Again, this technique works extremely well, but I don't see it anywhere described in any type of model rocket literature. Some people will do crocheting, where they will crochet this and then crochet knots pop apart again. That's probably a little bit more complicated than most people can do. I certainly don't know how to do that. I'm going to use a technique which is similar to what's called over-under winding. If you look at an electrician and they take a large cable, they won't, rather than winding it like this, they'll wind it, but they'll switch their hand back and forth, which will put a forward twist. You switch your hand, you put the backward twist. And as you do that, you're putting a forward twist, backward twist alternately in the electrical cable, and then when you get done, the electrical cable just unwinds without any tangling. We're going to do the same thing here, but we got the problem that both ends are attached, so we can't exactly wind it around like a free electrical cable. So what we're going to do is do over-under winding, but we're going to do it with both ends being tied. The way to do that is start out with the cord across your fingers. I spread my fingers about an inch apart, and this winds now as a figure 8. So as I wind this as a figure 8, the top will put a forward twist, the bottom will put a backward twist, so by the end, there's no twisting in this particular Kevlar line. Additionally, the lines in the center here are lying on top of each other, so they're not lying across each other, which would cause tangling. So now we've come to the point where the nose cone is at. You want to take your Kevlar and just loosen up your fingers, and then grab the two ends. You see this is a figure 8, but you want to fold it backwards on itself into a little loop. So now we have this particular loop, and we've got the Kevlar line here. Let's grab that. And we just slide this right in. It's really, really easy to slide this inside the rocket. Go ahead and stuff that in. And again, assuming that there's some wadding inside, take this and just drop it right in. As you drop it in, of course, Kevlar is going to spring apart a little bit. That doesn't matter, as long as we don't twist it up as we put it in. It's going to unwind exactly the way that we put it in. It's going to unwind in this figure 8 with a forward-backward twisting action, and that's going to cause it to unwind completely straight without any tangling, and this is just going to open very, very smoothly. Okay, so now we want to put the streamer in, and let's go ahead and do that. And what we want to do is we want to have a little bit more length. We want to have the blanket on top of the line to the rocket, because that's going to run outside of the streamer, outside the blanket. And we're going to have this on the inside. So this cord for the streamer goes upward, the cord for the rocket goes underneath and goes in the back. So now we're going to just simply take the rubber band off, put this in place. And sometimes the streamer, because of the glue, might want to pull the cord one way or the other. It looks like this pretty much is about the same both ways, so it's not going to really matter that much. Yeah, okay. And again, we want this up to be up high, because we want to keep the center of balance forward. And we take this, fold it over, and now we have our streamer snuggled in there very, very well. Now we just want to stick this inside the body tube. And again, we want to have this cord to the rocket along the back side of the streamer, back side of the blanket, and just stuff this in. And depending on your blanket size, you may want to fold the edges in, but this is about the size where I can just push this in without any problems. So I have more problems getting the Kevlar cord to stay put. So just take that and just push it right in. Make sure your streamer cord is up top. And just push this right in real easy. Now this is the cord to the streamer. We just stuff that on top. Put the nose cone on and we're done. We're ready for flight. This particular nose cone will require probably a little bit of tape to hold it better, but we're all set. This is all set for launch. And the nice thing about this is that the Kevlar cord is, of course, very, very stiff. It doesn't flex. So as the cord and the blanket are thrown forward, eventually the cord's going to snap as it tightens against the rocket. The actual felt blanket is going to stop, but the streamer is going to keep on going. So as the streamer keeps on going, it's basically taking that energy, transferring it into the streamer, and it's like cracking a whip. The streamer now acts like a whip. The energy is all in the base of the streamer, and it just unwinds and it just snaps open like a party streamer. So when you see this, you actually have to watch it in slow motion if you want to see what happens. But it ejects, and within like about 0.2 of a second, it goes from ejection to fully open. Okay, so this is pretty much everything I want to do on the Black Brant project. Again, this project has been a joint project to help other Rocketeers building up their Black Brant at the same time to show you how I'm doing the construction and to transfer the streamer technology. I am going to generate a few more streamer videos to help people build more stuff, because again, I think streamer technology for the low and the mid-power rockets is very, very nice to use. It gives you a very well-controlled recovery. Unlike parachutes, they don't drift away. Unlike parachutes, it's easy to see. It's easy to see this 25-foot streamer. So if I take this rocket and put a D-15 in it, that would be a huge engine for a rocket this size. It's going to vanish. I've had these fly up into the clouds. Once they're in the clouds, like, where is it? You're not going to see a little rocket like this. However, you will see a 25-foot streamer. And then it just looks beautiful coming out of the clouds with a nice sparkling streamer. The other value is that when this lands on the ground, a particular field that I fly in is in the center of a nature preserve. So you've got a lot of weeds, prairie plants, and there's many, many different types of things growing around. Some of it varies from like 1 feet. Some of it's 2 and 3, and even some of it's almost 5 to 6 feet high, these fields of reeds. So if this goes down into a field of reeds, 6 feet tall, you're never going to see it again. And that happened to me once. However, a 25-foot streamer is most likely going to lay on top of the plants and the top of the reeds and flutter around, so you can still find your rocket. There was a situation where my Gnome rocket, which is a little 10-inch rocket, it had an 8-foot streamer in, it landed in the field not more than 50 feet away from me, but I never saw the rocket. I couldn't find it. I could find the streamer, though. So I found the end of the streamer, followed it back, and I found out the rocket was not more than about 5 feet in front of me. So again, when these come down in areas that have a lot of vegetation and other types of obstacles, the streamers are very, very nice to help you locate your rocket even on the ground. Okay, so that wraps up the Black Brant video series on how to build a streamer. I'm going to generate a few more streamer videos to show people some of the other things you can do with your streamers. But this is pretty much the basic material. You've got the swivel, the Kevlar cord, you've got the felt blanket, the special winding technique, the spoilers. Putting that all together gives you a very, very reliable and predictable flight. So happy flying.